I need you to think about something. Think about the last time you drove alone at night. Maybe it was after a late shift. Maybe it was a long trip home from somewhere. Maybe it was just a regular Tuesday and you were on the highway and it was dark and there was nobody else around. Now think about this. What if someone was following you? Not tailgating you, not passing you slowly, following you, matching your speed, matching your turns, staying exactly far enough back that you couldn't quite be sure, but close enough that every time you checked your mirror, there they were. How long would it take you to realize? How long would it take before that feeling in your chest, that low, cold, specific feeling, finally forced you to admit that what was happening behind you was not a coincidence? I drive a lot. I always have. I grew up in rural Texas, and driving is just part of life there. Long distances, empty roads, dark highways that go for miles between towns, with nothing on either side but flat land and sky. I was not afraid of driving alone at night. I am now. What happened to me on US Route 83 in West Texas on a Friday night in October changed something in me permanently. And I have debated telling this story for a long time because part of me still cannot fully explain what the other driver wanted. But I think about other people driving alone at night. I think about other people on empty highways who might not know what to do. And I think they deserve to hear what I learned. So this is what happened to me.
It was a Friday in late October. I had driven down to visit my aunt in Del Rio, about 4 hours south of where I live in Abilene. Normal visit. Stayed for dinner, helped her with some things around the house, left around 9 p.m. to head back north. US 83 is a long, straight, two-lane highway. If you have never driven West Texas at night, I want you to understand what that means. There are stretches of that road where you will drive for 40 minutes and not see a building, not see a gas station, not see another car, just the road ahead of you and the dark on both sides and your headlights doing what they can. I was used to it. I had driven that road dozens of times. I had my music on, a coffee in the cup holder I had picked up in Del Rio. My phone was mounted on the dash with GPS running, even though I didn't need it. I knew the road. It was just habit. About 45 minutes north of Del Rio, somewhere around the Carter Valley area, I noticed headlights behind me. That is not unusual. People drive US 83 at night. Truckers, locals, people heading the same direction I was heading. I noticed them and I did not think about them. That was the last time that night I would look in my mirror and feel nothing. About 15 minutes later, I checked my mirror again. The headlights were still there, same distance, which on an open highway with no traffic means they had been maintaining exactly my speed for 15 minutes, not gaining on me, not falling back, matching me. I told myself again that this was normal. Someone going the same direction at the same speed happens all the time. I pushed the cruise control up from 70 to 78, not a huge jump, just enough to create some distance between me and whoever was behind me. I watched my mirror. The headlights got bigger. They had sped up too. Within 2 minutes, they were back to the same distance they had been before. I felt the first real flicker of unease then, but I was still rationalizing. Maybe they just had cruise control set to 78 as well. Maybe it was a coincidence. I dropped my speed back to 65. The headlights shrank, fell back, then slowly, steadily came back to the same distance. They had slowed down too. My mouth went dry. I picked up my phone from the mount and I called my husband, Marcus. He answered on the third ring,
half asleep. It was almost 10:30 p.m. I told him there was a car behind me that seemed to be matching my speed. He said, "How long?" I said, "Maybe 30 minutes. A pause. He said, "Speed up and see what happens." I pushed it to 85. West Texas at night. No police anywhere near. Straight road, clear visibility. 85 felt safe enough. The headlights fell back. I exhaled. Marcus was still on the phone. I told them they had fallen back. He said maybe it was nothing. Maybe they just weren't comfortable going that fast. And then the headlights started growing again. They were accelerating, matching me at 85. Marcus heard my silence and said, "Are they still there?" I said yes. He said, "Okay, listen to me. Don't slow down, don't speed up. Keep it at 85. How far are you from Sonora?" I checked the GPS. Sonora was the next town of any size, a truck stop, a few gas stations, people. 41 miles. 41 miles on an empty highway in the dark with someone behind me who had now matched my speed at 65, 70, 78, and 85 miles per hour. Marcus stayed on the phone with me. I kept my eye split between the road ahead and the mirror. The headlights stayed exactly where they were. For the next 20 minutes, neither of us spoke much. Marcus just stayed on the line. I could hear him breathing. I focused on the road. I watched the miles tick down on the GPS. 31 miles to Sonora. 28. 23. And then the headlights behind me went dark. 1 second, they were there. The next second, nothing. No brake lights, no slowing down, no turn-off. Just gone. I said to Marcus, "They turned their lights off." Silence on his end. Then, "Are they still behind you?" I didn't know. I couldn't see anything. My mirrors showed nothing but dark highway stretching back into nothing. But here is the thing about a driver turning off their headlights on a dark highway at night. They can still see you. Your taillights are still on. Your car is still visible to anyone behind you who knows where to look, but you cannot see them at all. I pressed the accelerator down hard. No cruise control now, just my foot on the gas. I hit 95, then 100. I watched my mirrors, nothing visible, no lights, just dark. But I could not shake the feeling, and I know how this sounds. I could not shake the feeling that something was still back there, still moving, still following me in the dark where I couldn't see it. Marcus told me to keep going, don't stop, don't slow down, get to Sonora. 16 miles, 12, 8. And then, in my rearview mirror, headlights again, exactly where they had been before. They had been driving without lights, in the dark, at highway speed, following me by my taillights. I think I made a sound when I saw them. Marcus asked what happened. I told him the lights were back. He said, "How far to Sonora?" 6 miles.
I do not remember the last 6 miles clearly. I remember the lights of Sonora appearing on the horizon and feeling something release in my chest that I had not realized I was holding. I remember pulling off the highway onto the exit ramp so fast that my coffee flew out of the cup holder. I remember pulling directly into the Valero truck stop, the brightest, most populated place I could see, and parking under the lights as close to the building as possible. I sat in my car with the engine running and I watched the highway exit ramp. A truck went by on the highway without exiting. A pickup truck exited and pulled into the gas station, an older man, rancher type, who glanced at my car without interest and went inside. No one else. For 5 minutes I sat there and watched. No black car, no vehicle that had been following me.
No one who pulled in and sat in their car watching me the way I was watching them. Marcus was still on the phone. I told him I was at the truck stop. There were people around. The car hadn't followed me off the exit. He said, "Stay there. I'm looking up the drive to come get you." I told him not to. It was 4 hours. I was okay now. There were people. The highway follower was gone. I went inside, bought another coffee, used the restroom, talked to the woman behind the counter for a few minutes about nothing. Just needed to hear a normal voice, be in a normal place. I was there for 40 minutes before I felt okay enough to get back on the road.
I got back on US 83 just after midnight. The remaining drive to Abilene was about 2.5 hours. For the first hour, I checked my mirror every 30 seconds. Every set of headlights that appeared behind me sent a spike of something cold through my chest. Every time a car matched my speed for more than a few minutes, I felt the anxiety start to climb. Nothing happened. The highway was normal. Cars passed me, I passed cars. Trucks going south, a state trooper going north who I was very glad to see. I got home at 2:40 in the morning. Marcus was awake and standing at the door when I pulled in. I filed a report the next day with the Texas Department of Public Safety. I could not give them a vehicle description beyond dark-colored 4-door full-size car or SUV. I could not give them a license plate. I had never been close enough, and it had been too dark. The officer who took my report was patient. He said vehicle-following incidents on isolated rural highways were not uncommon. He said most of the time the motivation was never determined. He said the behavior I described, speed matching, lights off pursuit, the specific pattern of it was consistent with what he called predatory following. Predatory following. I have thought about that phrase many times since. I want to tell you the thing about that night that I keep coming back to. It is not the speed matching. It is not the 40 miles of being followed. It is not even the lights going off, though that is the part that appears in my dreams sometimes, a dark highway and headlights that simply vanish. The thing I keep coming back to is this. When I pulled into that truck stop in Sonora and watched the highway exit for 5 minutes, no one followed me off. They stayed on the highway, which means one of two things. Either they gave up when I exited and continued north on 83, or they knew that I was stopping and they continued north because they knew that eventually, in 40 minutes or an hour, I would get back on that same highway and they could wait. I do not know which one it was. I do not know if the car that was behind me for the rest of my drive home was the same car or different cars. I do not know if the person who followed me for 40 miles in the dark on US 83 was watching my taillights disappear into the Valero and sitting somewhere in the darkness just off the road, waiting for me to come back out. I don't know. And that not knowing, that permanent, unresolvable uncertainty, is the part that has never fully left me.
I still drive that road. I still visit my aunt in Del Rio. I still make the drive on US 83. But I do not make it alone at night anymore. I leave earlier. I arrive before dark. Or I take a different route, longer but more populated. Or I don't go at all if the timing doesn't work. My aunt knows why. She doesn't push it. There are things I want you to know if you drive alone on highways, especially rural highways, especially at night. Things I wish someone had told me before that October drive. If you think someone is following you, test it. Speed up, slow down, take an exit, and immediately take the on-ramp back. If they follow all of it, they are following you. Do not go home. Do not go somewhere isolated. Go to the most populated, most lit place you can find. A truck stop, a hospital, a police station. Call someone and stay on the line. Tell them your location, the direction you're going, a description of the vehicle behind you if you can get one. If you can get to a police station, go there. Do not worry about whether you are overreacting. You are not overreacting. And if someone behind you turns their lights off on a dark highway, do not slow down. Do not stop. Drive as fast as you safely can to the nearest light, the nearest people, the nearest place where you are not alone, because the dark is where they want you. And a turned-off headlight on an empty highway is not a malfunction. It is a choice. Stay safe out there. And the next time you are alone on a highway at night and something in your chest tells you that the car behind you is wrong, listen to it. Get off that road. Do it now.